Good morning, ladies, and welcome back to another Saturday morning right here on the CW Twin Cities. You are watching the Connect Show, where each week we are just diving into all of the things, business talk, girl chat. Good morning to my co-hosts, Lasha Raditz and Michaela Club. Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hi, good morning.
Saturday.
Hey.
Well, Mother's Day just passed, ladies, and it has me thinking about gifts versus spending time. What type of gift givers are you?
So this past week, I gave some gifts, but mostly just spent time. Spent time with my grandma and my mom,
Natalie? Sorry.
and my family and my kids, and that was great, especially because COVID, we haven't been able to see her. She's 92, my grandmother. So just spending time was good. Yeah. So I spent time. How about you all?
I agree too. Time is of the essence. I wish I had more time to get better gifts, because I find that I'm always last minute all the time on everything in my life. But having more time to get better gifts, and it goes back to organization, because I feel like if I could just really, 2 weeks in advance, put a note in the calendar, buy the gift, right? For the birthday, put everyone's birthday in the deal. Father's Day is coming up. You guys were chatting about cool things that we could do for Father's Day, but yes, all the way around, I think time is important, and your gift shows the time that you put in. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand.
This is making me think about love languages. And as I've gotten older, I actually prefer time versus gift. I would much rather quality time, or, just something very small and thoughtful versus something spendy. And I don't know. I don't feel like I need a thing, but I'm all about time and spending time with those that I care the most about. So,
I feel you. But for those watching who know me, I will accept all gifts.
But no mail, so don't mail or anything. I'm just kidding.
So how are you all feeling about possibly everything opening back up? I know here in Minnesota, I think, and depending on everybody getting vaccinated, we might be fully open in the next few weeks, right? So how are you feeling?
Here in July 1st, that's what I've been heard. That's what I heard. July 1st, we're going to be open up, and I don't know. I'm a little nervous, I guess, just because it was so crazy. Although I am fully vaccinated now, which was I was on the fence about that decision. But as someone who deals with the public quite a bit, I'm also high risk, being a diabetic. I just felt like it was important that I go ahead and do it. But I probably will still be careful. Spend a lot of time still in the house and mask up, of course. But I know people are ready and they're busting out. So.
Yes, Lasha. And speaking of busting out, I hear you are busting out in the Twin Cities. You got recognized last weekend in a big way by Debonair, who I hear about all over the place. I saw it on Facebook. Talk a little bit about that recognition you got for Mother's Day weekend, Lash.
Sure. So I've known Debonair again, you've heard of him, but that's because he's been a promoter here in the Twin Cities for years and years. We've experienced a lot of good times thanks to Debonair. And every now and then he will recognize different people. And it was my first time being recognized. And so he reached out to me about a month and a half ago, and he said, "Hey, I'm just loving watching you, what you're doing. You're also balancing running a successful business with being a great mom. And I would love to honor you at my event in May. And would you be open to letting me honor you?" I said, "Well, of course. Thank you very much. We do what we do because it's just what we do, not for the accolades. But sure, if you want to honor me, go ahead."
You deserve it, Lash. Not surprised at all. Was so happy.
Thank you.
Yes, well, we are just heating up. Our next guest is a serial entrepreneur and truly a woman who is about her business. Stay tuned, and we will be right back with Dr. Nicole Garner Scott.
We hope you're enjoying the show, because we level up your circle one girl boss at a time. You see, it's what I like to call high-hanging fruit. Come reach your next dimension and join the membership at theconnectonline.com.
I'm Kayla Ciati. I love making women feel beautiful with everything fashion and beauty. You are watching the Connect Network TV.
Well, welcome back to Twin Cities. We have with us the amazing Dr. Nicole Garner Scott. She does so much. She's a money coach, a speaker, an author, an investment manager. She runs a PR agency and has worked with some of your favorite celebs. And she is here to talk today about money and business. So welcome to the show, Nicole. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, ladies.
So Nicole, you've started a few different businesses, right? So please share with us what you do and more about how you became Dr. Nicole Garner Scott.
Sure. So I'll jump right on in. First, I want to say you all look so beautiful. All of this is amazing beauty on the screen. So beautiful to see. So just to give you a little bit of my background, I like to say that I got into the world of entrepreneurship at a very, very early age. I would say like around 5 years old. I was like the candy lady in my neighborhood and, always coming up with creative ways and things to do as a child to bring in my own money, and just really knew from very early on that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I got into my first level of entrepreneurship when I was still in college. My very last year of college, I started my PR agency. The internship that I was working with, they ended up becoming my first client. I was getting ready to graduate, and they were like, "Hey, we want to bring you on to take on this as an independent contractor." And so I was like, "Well, excellent. This is great. This is a way for me to tap into my entrepreneurial dreams." And they were like, "Well, just send us over your EIN information and your W-9s and all your paperwork, and we'll be ready to go." And I was like, "No problem." Hung up the phone and got on my computer and was like, "What is an EIN? And
find all the things.
What are these other things that I need to produce for them? And how do I create a bank account?" And so my last semester at Georgia State University, I fully launched my PR agency, and I have been running my PR agency for 15 years now, and just have been really blessed. Lots of highs, but definitely have my very fair share of lows too, just learning and growing in that type of space.
Now, Dr. Nicole, I've got to stop you because I know who those two women are that you are sharing about. Can you share with our viewers who your first two, I guess, clients were? It's pretty fascinating.
Yes. So very first client was the late Kim Porter. Very near and dear to my heart. And her company, it was called Three Brown Girls. Her, Ebony Electra, and Nicole Cook Johnson, who is the granddaughter of Sam Cooke, had a unique venture where they were producing experiential events all across the country. And so that was my very first client in the space, and just was really beautiful to work with.
So tell us more about the Garner Circle and the impact PR can actually have on your business.
So the Garner Circle, and I know some people are wondering, how does all of this relate? But it all relates.
It's amazing all that you do.
Right. It all relates. I do consider myself to be a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And I know for some of you who are watching right now, you feel me in that space too, because you just know that you have the capacity to show up in excellence in a multitude of ways. I will say though that I definitely did the Garner Circle for over a decade before I expounded onto some of my other entrepreneurial ventures, and made sure that I learned everything inside and out and had all of my processes in place and my automation and my teams and all of that before I spread myself, so I wouldn't spread myself thin. So I will give that piece of advice to any other multi-passionate entrepreneurs that are watching. As we tap back into PR though, I think now more than ever, PR is very critical for any small business that's looking to thrive in this society. PR is where you really connect with your publics, really connect with your audience. It's where you build trust, and it's where you build credibility. And so as we can see now, there is we call it social media detectives. We use the term Black Twitter, or we use the term. I mean, there's a ton of terms that we use, but if you are not being authentic in your message, if you're not organic in what it is you say that you stand for, what you believe in, then you will be uncovered, and that is where cancel culture.
Yeah.
For those of you who never heard that terminology before, is where social media will congregate and figure out a way to shut you down through their power, instead of waiting for the law or for other entities to shut you down. So they shut you down with the power of not spending with you, of using the power of the dollar to cancel you out. And so when you are building your brand, when you're getting your messaging out there, when you're wanting to connect with your audiences, it is absolutely essential that you are being very transparent, that you're being very honest and authentic with what it is that you're building. And so your PR team should be able to help you do that.
Wow, lots of great stuff. We thank you so much. You've shared a lot of gems today. So we thank you so much. And what are you working on next? And where can people connect with you, Dr. Nicole?
Yes, yes. Well, thankfully, you guys have helped me by putting it in the tracker. So right below, you'll see my website, amountfinancial.com. If you need financial advisement, money coaching, please reach out to us on Instagram. It's at Dr. Garner Scott. I would love to connect with you in that way. I'm very responsive via email and via Instagram. Coming up, we have our program that we're launching through Amount Financial called Family Matters, which is helping you build a legacy worth leaving. It helps just outline everything that you need for your family members to do as far as estate planning, as far as getting everything together for your legacy, so that you can make sure that the narrative and the mission of your family continues on. So we have that coming up. And I have a book coming out in the fall called Make Space for Wealth, which is very, very interesting. Would love to encourage you guys, and I'll definitely give some books away on your show when the book is out and ready.
Awesome.
So awesome. Dr. Nicole, y'all. Dr. Nicole.
Thank you.
We have much more Boss Babe Magic coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Crush It with Christy. I'm Christy Primer, president of Primetime Consulting Services Incorporated. Today I want to share a quick tip with you all about using the law of attraction to create the life and business that you desire. That tip is simply to feel the way you think that you would feel now when you have the thing then. So feel the way now that you think that you would feel if you had the money, the successful business, the relationship then. And I know that can sound confusing, but it's as simple as really tapping into that feeling and energetically becoming the woman who has the things you desire. To learn more about working with me or being a part of my community, please connect with me at my website or on Instagram, and we can dive deeper into your next level breakthrough.
Welcome back to the Connect Show, Twin Cities. And what a show we have for you today. Our next guest is an award-winning entrepreneur. She's an author, a speaker, also a strategist, and a financial healer. So welcome to the show, Dr. Wendy.LABAT. Welcome, Wendy.
Hi, how are you, ladies? You all are beautiful. I'm enjoying the show. Thank you for having me.
So, Miss Wendy, you hold many titles and have accomplished so much in your career. So I'd love to know what inspired you to branch off and try new things.
Well, I'm a seasoned entrepreneur, so I've learned the hard way that I'm obedient to the spirit. Whatever the spirit leads me to do, that's what I do. I learned, the hard way. So now that's my way of doing things. Listen to the spirit and be obedient.
So good. So where did the name financial healer come from?
Well, it came from it came from a branding expert I was working with. I told him my story, and he said, "Okay, what about financial healing?" At first, I was like, I
Mm,
don't know if I like that. But then I started putting it out there, and I got some positive feedback. So I became the financial healer, and it's really in line with my brand and my story. So
yes.
it's worked out pretty good.
I love that. I love that name. And since we're talking about finances and just the mindset around money, what are some ways that we can elevate kind of our financial mindset when we're thinking about how we manage our money?
Well, the Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And it
Mm,
also says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So, what I teach my clients is, for one, you have to change the way you look at things, because if you do, the things you look at change. So
mm,
many
mm,
people want something and then they say, well, I can't afford it. But if they want something and say, well, how can I afford it? They have a different perspective and they're willing to think outside the box and finding ways to get whatever it is or achieve whatever it is they're trying to achieve. So you have to change the way you look at things. And then you got to, don't underestimate the power of the basics. You got to know something. You don't have to have a doctorate degree or PhD, but you got to have some basic, knowledge of, money principles. So that's where you start.
And if you could, let's talk a little bit more about the difference between, like, financial literacy and healing. Like, what type of healing or what recovery are we getting from this healing? And I just love this series because you have a whole series on this financial cure. So somewhere there's some pain. So how do we get healed and come up out of the pain when it comes to money? Because it's true, we don't talk about it in school. You don't even balance a checkbook in school. People are like 18 years old, don't even have a checking account. What are some, first steps to getting healed?
Well, first you have to diagnose your financial health. I ask my
Mm,
clients, are you suffering from anorexic income?
man.
Do you have overweight expenses, obese debt, and tax liabilities?
Yes.
Do you have anemic retirement funds? Is your
Lord,
investment
yes.
fund hemorrhaging? And then are you
Mm,
crippled from inaction? So those are the
Mm.
kind of things that you have to think about and the mindset you have to have in order to really take a look at where you are.
wow. Dr. Wendy, you are the financial healer. And I'm so excited people are here and able to learn about you. How can they find you and get into your series and just keep in touch?
Well, they can go to the financialcures.com. That's my website, and they can enroll in my course, Optimize Your Financial Health. They can buy my best-selling #1 new release book.
Yes.
And they'll find out more information about. I'm about to launch a global streaming TV show, Financial Cures with Dr. Wendy. So that should be launching
Wow.
in the fall. So they can
Mm,
find all that information on my website.
you're amazing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dr.
Thank you.
Wendy.
Thank you, guys. And one thing I do want to mention, you asked me how did I get the financial healer title. I'm a breast cancer conqueror. And
Amen.
because I had the proper protection, not only were my $1.1 million chemo bills paid and my $330,000 surgical bills paid, but I got multiple six-figure tax-free shot in the arm, financially, that allowed me to focus on my recovery and not on, the disease, and not on money, really. I focused on my recovery. I had to focus on disease, but it ended up, that's how the whole financial cures came into play. Because,
Mm,
once I
sure.
found that, I was like, okay, I found the financial cure. So that's
Wow.
how that whole thing came into play. But that's part of my series, and you can learn about the proper protection, because if you don't have it, you can be ruined financially from one illness or injury. So
Amen.
people
That
need to
is
be
so
aware
true.
of that. Mhm.
Wow.
Wow. Dr. Wendy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Thank
good,
you.
you guys.
Thank
So
you.
good.
Well, we are enjoying our Saturday and chatting with these amazing women. We have more, so do not turn your channel. We'll be right back after the break.
You are at the table with Tommy Vincent, where there is always a seat with your name on it. This week from the You Will, let's talk about I Will Nourish Me. Now, nourishment is often defined by the foods that we put into our body. But let's talk about the other things that we're putting inside of ourselves. Let's deal with social media. You curate your social media feed by deciding on who you will follow. Does it make you feel good about who you are, or does it cause you to question who you are? The reason why I created the Stay a While podcast was because I wanted to make a table that was a safe space. And that's what the Stay a While table is all about. Our opportunity to come together, to have conversations that are nourishing, that feed our soul, that are uplifting. Your hard work for this week is to make sure that you are doing things that are going to nourish you, that are going to cause you to flourish and cause you to grow. So choose wisely what you allow to come in so that you ensure that you are nourishing yourself in a way that is going to ensure your growth and flourishing beyond measure. Remember, life happens at the table, so please meet me here.
Welcome back to the Connect Show here on the CW Twin Cities. And each week we are talking about success, business success. We talk friendships and just different dynamics when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Today we have another amazing guest for you. It's Karen Ballou. She's the founder of Immunocologie, and she is checking in from New York City today. Hi, Karen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank
so
you.
Excited to have you here. I personally love all things beauty, of course. So tell us a bit about you leaving your previous Elizabeth Arden to forming your own brand. I would love to hear that story.
Yeah, it's just amazing. The beauty business, the beauty of beauty, right? And and you three are so gorgeous, I have to tell you.
Thank you.
So, well, thank you. And one of the things with I will say when I was with Elizabeth Arden several years ago, I had the great journey of going from Elizabeth Arden over to Redken, the hair care company. Mm-hmm. And it was then that I realized that I need to become an entrepreneur, because I really realized that was something that was in my blood to be able to get out there and work with people in a different way. So I went to skincare school, and that was for estheticians. Then I ended up opening up a skincare actual school itself, which then led me to a spa, where I opened up a spa. So that entrepreneurship was there. But there's so much to talk about with that. And when I got to, it was about 14 years ago when I started working with, we talked about this on the Miami show, right? But here we are in Minneapolis. I want to tell you, this is the green clay. This is the green clay that I started to work with about 14 years ago. And I was doing research on it. And as I was doing the research and working with a botanist and finding out that this is made of kaolin and bentonite, and it's also with lava. And so all of these really rich minerals. And I started to use this green clay, the French green clay, on my skin, and noticed how it was like a drink for my skin and just hydrated.
What about SPF? Like, we're getting into summer. When we think about, again, more healthy products, like what should we be thinking about for summer skincare?
Yeah, well, when you're sitting in the sun, we love it, but it's always not as healthy for us. But we're going to be there. We're going to go in and out. Well, one thing in our products that we do have zinc in it, which is a natural protector from the sun. So that part, but I wouldn't say you could go sit in the sun with our moisturizer on, because it doesn't have the actual claim of an SPF. But just from car to maybe the store, that is, can work with Immunocologie. But putting sunscreen on before you head out. But I love to recommend, and we're working on a new sunscreen right now, but I do like it when it is a natural sunscreen and it also has a benefit for the skin. So, looking at different brands out there, there's a few out there that people will see that are coming out into the marketplace, where they're much healthier than all of the other chemicals that are in sunscreen. So be on the lookout for that.
Well, and I also just love, you and Dr. Wendy, for an example, had a health crisis or health scare, right? And it led you to entrepreneurship. How amazing is that? And I don't know that we touched on it, but you really have been a pioneer in the skincare industry and working with Elizabeth Arden for all of those years and being able to introduce, is it hyaluronic acid that you introduced? Talk a little bit about that component that you brought to skincare.
Well, it was salicylic acid.
Yes.
Many years ago, I had developed about 100 products for a company. And that's one of the things that I've been doing in my career. So it's going to be really fun talking, the beauty series and talking about different things about the industry, right?
Yes.
And so I had been working on some formulas, and salicylic acid was never used in the marketplace for, I would say, everyday skincare. And it was because we said in the industry, well, people would not go for what would be called an acid on the skin.
Yes.
Well, education does everything for us. Once we understand what that means and what it does, and that changed the whole conversation about working with skin and changing skin. And salicylic did that. It actually went in and it helps with getting rid of dead skin cells, also helps with blemishes. And I put it into a product that was for blemishes and controlling oil as well. But it's also really good for taking down inflammation. So what's surrounded by blemishes is that inflammation.
Awesome. Immunocologie for the win.
Absolutely. And she's going to be back. You can catch her on the Connect Show South Florida week after week. She's doing a beauty series going over everything for the skin, your décolleté, your neck. There's all these places, the back of the neck, like you got to get it all. Karen has the product. And if you're out there online at immunocologie.com trying to figure out what to get, I purchased the multi-pack. So it's like a little variety of everything. Right. And they will tell you and kind of help you go through the products. You can actually do a skincare test on her website. It's outstanding. And she also offers career opportunities because you can be a brand ambassador and also sell the products. And so it's all the things. We're trying to get fabulous, Miss Karen. Karen, thank you so much for being with us today. We will take a quick break and be right back.
Are you watching the Connect Show Texas?
We are so excited today to be back with you on your Saturday morning.
Each week, we are sitting down with women in business and female entrepreneurs.
If you're ready to share your journey to success,
or if you are looking to be inspired, join us every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on the CW Austin.
Well, welcome back to the Connect Show, Twin Cities, and happy Saturday. We hope you've enjoyed just hanging out with us on your Saturday morning. We talked skincare, we talked money, we talked bossing, and you can catch that each week right here on the CW Twin Cities.
And don't forget to join our membership. Register today at theconnectonline.com and catch all of our past episodes on Natalie's Network on YouTube.
Bye, Twin Cities.